The cosmic womb is, if you think about your womb itself, and even from a Tantric and Ayurvedic perspective of how the womb holds a baby, creates life, but yet also is of space. It's a void, right? It's just like an empty spaciousness there. And so when we are in the time of life where we still have a menstrual cycle, we actually are like magnets to energies around us, and the womb will actually pull negative energies from other people. And so a lot of times, if you depending on what perspective you're looking at, but if you're having like really intense PMS, a lot of times it's not necessarily your emotions. Many times it is, but sometimes it might also be from other people that you've drawn in. But it also, might be like a physical liver thing, that's happening because your liver is in overload and now it's having to, anyways. So all this that comes into the body now through the menstrual cycle can be released and purified and cleansed out. So it's a really incredible process that only women can do. And because now we have this spaciousness here, and if you even imagine, close your eyes, what that looks like from within, it's soft, it's warm, it's moist, and it's just kind of like soothing and comforting, and yet at the same time it's dark, right? You can't see, and maybe from, if you're inside, you can see a little bit of light from outside, like if you were a baby being created there. But the concept then becomes that when we've done so many meditations that we are pulling our senses and pulling it in and down, right? Like all these meditations we do is coming into the body, because in the body is the portal to the soul. So when we drop in now to the womb and we do specific practices that actually stimulate your pineal glands, your pituitary, that release what's called soma. And soma is the Amrita nectar. This is actually technically from a scientific perspective, it's what releases is dopamine, oxytocin, like all those chemicals that release from your hormones. And that actually becomes a physical drip that then moves all the way down to the womb. And then we create like this womb space that now is holding this nectar. And this nectar then we drop into, and then basically through the meditation, now we are inside of maybe the physical womb that then expands into this cosmic womb, right? And then from this cosmic womb space, we begin to create, but we also rest. And so just as a baby isn't having to push buttons to say, mommy, give me, nutrients, we don't either. And so the journeys into these meditations, so I guide us through a physical practice that moves us into the body and into the womb. And then once we are dropped into there, we lie down, and then Liz guides us into a shamanic journey in the cosmic womb space. And so it becomes really potent because we are holding each other, yet at the same time we're holding ourselves, and we are being held at the same time. Like it's just a really incredible place, because then we are moving into what our culture sees as darkness, as negative, but yet this space is darkness as healing, as creation, as resting, as being nourished and cradled and held. And so there isn't, when we journey, there's never like, this is what it's going to be like. Every time Liz and I have done these sessions, they're different. And because of the women who are here in the space, are going to bring in maybe like one time it took us a really long time for Liz to guide us deeper into the womb, because maybe it was resistance of one person who was like afraid, and so we had to go a little slower to kind of ease them into it. Maybe it was me being like, how are people feeling, so there's lots of different aspects that come in and play into how the journey unfolds, what comes into the journey. So Liz actually speaks, here's where we're going, and then she sees all that's happening, and she shares what she's seeing that's happening. And then she asks also, you become a participant as well, as in the sense if you, let's say you meet one of your spirit guides in the journey, and you can ask, do you have a gift for me? Is there something that you want me to know right now or understand better right now? So it does be, even though she's guiding us into it, it is still very much all of us co-creating it together. And so it becomes, the same way that women used to gather together, we are still gathering together, whether like this will be all online, but as you guys know and been with me, there you can feel it always happening. You don't have to be in the physical sense. So the intention of the mini retreat, the bigger retreat, the in-person, like is all the same. It is for us to come to a place of death and rebirth and life and resting into creation without you having to figure it out or know what to do or have to have it known somehow. So that's the essence of it. So there is a sense of death within the womb because death is life, I mean, how many times have you've experienced where someone has passed and then there is a symbolic animal, or something that appears, like death is not an end. It is simply this rebirthing new beginning. And so that's a very big piece of the cosmic womb. And that's why it's called the cosmic womb and tomb. It's both of it, all of it. That was a long description.